Yeah, I swapped with one of them and then I think they thought they were both swapping. That's okay. Test. Good? Okay. Right, he's probably right.
Finished. Ready to walk on the road. No, now it's Charlie. They're not even there, are they? Their house, the house across the road, people move in.
Thank you. It saves me. It's the common joke.
Yeah.
This is another one. The house of this. Imagine the house of this issue. I went to dinner
Their house being put the one that just drove with
'cause
Good afternoon and welcome to Darcy Street for this round 11 WSL matchup between home team South Hobart and Glenorchy Knights. My name's Alex Mummery. Thank you for joining us. This turns out to be quite a fine afternoon down in South Hobart. Should be a reasonably intriguing game. Glenorchy Knights in some ways have been the story of the season. I know most people would probably just say Devonport leading the competition, but I guess if you are into the league in a little bit of a deeper way, they've been a really young team on the rise. Have been able to get some good results recently, and this will be a bit of a challenge for South Hobart, who've had a slightly wobbly middle part of the season, and I think could be a good game today. At least let's hope so from a neutral perspective, as both teams make their way out for the lineups, and I'll run you through them. So for South Hobart, who are the team in red, we have Casey Ponting in goals, Aaliyah Browning, Graciela Baez, Bridget Wright, and Maddie Chambers still on her winter, break. So she'll be a key player in the lineup today. Josie Mamich, who's been banging in the goals for them. Samantha Watkins probably hasn't quite found her feet as we might have expected coming over from Kingborough this season. Chelsea Sega, one of the other ex-Kingborough players, making the start in defence. Pishon Choi, always a key player for South Hobart, and Phoebe Clifford and Alexandra Haber to round out the 11 for them. Interestingly, no Sophie Westwood today, so that's a little bit of a issue that I'll just have to manage at the back of defence today. You'd assume Chelsea Sega stepping into that centre-back position. I think for Glenorchy Knights, are in their white kits today, just doing a little dance to move their huddle over a little bit further away from where the refs are. They've got an extremely young team, but a very talented team. So you have Madison Lennox in goals, who's sort of come in the last few games and is, again, a young player, but has shored up that defence fairly well. Emma Christie, one of the midfielders there was Sarah Bologna, Summer Neal, who will both be in defence. Jemima Brown, who's been absolutely banging the goals recently. She's scored 4 last week against Riverside, and that wasn't an easy game for them, but in the end it did seem that way. Millie Barrich, another talent on the wing. Bronte Giddon, Saskia Ashby, Ella McConnon, who's sort of come in for another start after coming off the bench. I think she's been out for a little while with injury. Inez Giddon and Jess Shreve will round out the 11. So a good mix of a few more experienced players in that lineup, with a lot of very young players. Interviewing Vixie Bologna last week, I guess just how young some of these players are, still in school, still some I think 15, 16, so they are immensely talented, but this will be a big test for them. I think South Hobart, with that experience last year, they've got some young players themselves, but having just that, championship credential, I think it will be a tough test for Glenorchy Knights, but I wouldn't rule out a upset here. So should be an intriguing game. As I said, lovely day here at South Hobart as we do get underway. Somewhat surprisingly, after a pretty awful couple of weeks of weather down in southern Tasmania, it's not too wet. The ground is a little bit squelchy underfoot. Check that out pre-game. And it's getting chopped up a little bit down here at Darcy Street. So I think the girls will have the best of the conditions, at least today, with the NPL happening tomorrow. So we'll see how it holds up for that game. As the first bit of pressure is being put on by Brown, Sega having to deal with it. And again, South Hobart having to make a few different little changes. I guess some enforced and some, again, with picking up Maddie Chambers for that. Just this middle part of the season should help them out with their depth a little bit. It's noticeable that they only carry a couple of subs each game. I don't know if that's registration rules or just something that they like to run, whereas bench for Glenorchy a bit more full today. As Christie can't get her way through Watkins. We'll go through Choi. This will be Phoebe Clifford, who's playing on the left-hand side today. Really more of a natural right back, but again, having to do what they have to do, and Shreve's clearance isn't a good one. It's a bit scuffed off the stud. Mamich now. Chambers. Bit of a difficult ball, and Ashby will just take evasive action. And I think they will kind of just need to manage that thread a little bit, Glenorchy. Here's Chambers again. I think she will be quite dangerous. That left foot, it's not a bad cross, almost goes in the back of the net. Watkins didn't take it down that cleanly, but uses her body well. She'll turn the corner, low ball in, and finds a side netting. So South Hobart are looking likely early on. I think they've pushed Browning right up high. She's playing an out-and-out 10. And here she is, getting on the ball. Just cut that poor goal kick out. It's a bit of a muddy goal square in there. They're trying to go a bit longer. McConnon diving in. Clifford shows us a clean set of heels, though. Goes around the outside of it. It's into Browning. Baez. Watkins cutting inside. There's Watkins again. And Barrett trying to play through. Bronte get on. All right, we'll send it into the channel. Not a terrible ball from the centre-back. It had a good weight on it. But couldn't find either of her forward attacking teammates. And Clifford just happy to let that one go out. South, kind of slightly different look. Again, saying Browning playing it out and out in the middle as a 10. Sometimes she's off the wing, and they put Watkins over to the right-hand side. She's been a left winger for, well, basically all the time she's been at South Hobart, and probably would like to start there when she was at Kingborough too. But I think that might set her up a little bit more to just use that right foot of hers, be a bit more comfy on it, and she is two-footed. That's well cut out by Inez Gadon. Walker McConnon squirts its way through Clifford, and Bridget Wright ever reliably seeing that one out of play. It's hard to beat her for pace. Very quick, agile, handy to have when they're playing a high line, South Hobart. Let's go out for a goal kick, I think. Maybe not the best throw here, and they're trying to put a press on here, South Hobart. Brown does well. Here's Chambers. Goes one way, then the other. Really nice set of shoulder fake. Puts Bologna under a bit of pressure. She touches it into Mamich. And she has it on her left foot and well blocked by Bologna. Had to make a good recovery effort. And she's done pretty well in the end. It was probably a slightly predictable touch. I kind of had to take it away from Mamich. Almost let her in for half a second, and don't want to see Josie Mamich storming towards your goals. But it was a pretty impressive sliding tackle in the end. But danger not clear yet for Glenorchy. Ball in's a decent one. It's chopped out of there by Neil. And she will clear it again. It's chopped back in the mixer. Brown having a lot of sort of channel running to do today, just chasing the South Hobart centre-backs, making sure they don't have time to play. Little slip there from Christie. Inez gets around too. All looking for Barrett, doesn't get through a wall of South Hobart players. And squirted out of play on the far side. It's been a lively start. I think South definitely putting the pressure on and testing this young Glenorchy team. I think this is sort of the reps that you want as a, say, if you're a Glenorchy supporter or part of the coaching staff, is testing yourself at this level. Such a young team. And how they're going to go. Put under the Bunsen burner here at Darcy Street today. It's a nice touch through from Watkins. Tries to set up Baez. It's away by Bologna. It's a decent clearance. It finds McConnon, but her touch is shielded off it by Pishon Choi. A tricky little ball for Hobart to control, but she does pretty well. Another cut inside. Watkins is looking likely today. Goes on her left foot. Decent shot and taken well by Lennox in goals. Into Bronte Godon, who's kind of shielded off by her former teammate, Clarence Zebras. Very dynamic duo back there, Baez and Godon. Much enjoyed watching that side, which was also quite a young side, but really no longer exists for the time being, hopefully. Shreve will send it long. Right, had a little bit of a choice to make between chesting or heading. Controls it well in the end. Chambers getting a little bit too much space at the moment. Did find Mamich, but her touch was a little bit strong. And there's Godon. Ball is cut out by Choi. Having a little bit too much pressure in the midfield here, South Hobart. Glenorchy can't play through it, and they want to play through it. Baez's ball is an interesting one. Bologna's clearance, just enough to see off the Mamich threat. Guess you got those sort of links from a few ex-Zebras players, but also Mamich as well, with her brother playing down at KG5, and I've heard a Glenorchy junior as well, so see her against her old club. Coming back to the top of the box, and Godon's all sorted out. Here's Emma Christie. Looking for Brown, who's gone wide. And Brown has started like really set on fire here. She's pressing everything up there. I think just a lot of confidence after last week. Again, Riverside put up a really good fight, very much for the first half, and for a fair bit of the second too. It was really just a period of 20 minutes that let them down, and Brown poaches instinct, and you can see her hard work already to result in those 4 goals. South coming off a slightly more quiet period, just with a couple little buys, but I think they've sorted that little test out where they got beaten by Devonport a couple of times. Here's Mamich on the turn, a little bit of body, doesn't go down. Maybe could have, and the flag goes up. We say good from the player not to lose her feet there, but potentially could have earned a little penalty if she went down there, but offside anyway, so nothing doing. Ball's up in the air for Bologna. Mamich, she'll bring it down. Looking very likely at the moment, Josie Mamich. Watkins around the outside. Tries to cut it. Mamich is almost there, but Christie's foot in is a good one, and managed to save it out for a throw in too. Watkins looking really dangerous down that right-hand side too. I think if they can just get that final ball, where I think they'll be in business here, South Hobart. Throw from Hobart. It's retaken. And she'll have to take it again. Ashby taking no chances. One of Knight's more experienced players having her hands full with Watkins today. Choi's ball in, away by Shreve. McConnon, she'll want to run forward. She will just try and take on Baez, but Baez putting the Jets on too and shielded that one off well. Sega now doing the mopping up for South. Good press from Barrage. Away by Wright again. Bologna been putting under a lot of pressure. Gets enough of the ball. You can see that South are trying to play fairly direct today. I think that's probably a good option for them. Not really passing it around at the back. It's fairly direct coming through that back line, and Pishon Choi will try and run at the Glenorchy defence again. Mamich. Well done by Ashby with good foot in. Browning. Shreve will clear. Bronte Gadon just infringing on Elia Browning. Just clipping a little bit too much of the South Hobart player. I think it will be hard work for Gadon to get on the ball today. I think she was a real key for unlocking that Riverside defence last week. Right, we'll lob it up into the air. It's got a lot of backspin. Keeper sort of comes for it. Bologna chests it down, and the clearance isn't a good one. Browning can't get a good purchase of the ball. Looks like she stubbed her toe a little bit on the shot in the aftermath, and will just get cleared away by Knights. But it is all South Hobart at the moment. No real clear shots on target as yet, but definitely in terms of territory, they are putting Knights under a lot of pressure at the moment. It's nice footwork by Watkins. Brown having pretty much all four South Hobart defenders to chase down. Baez now. The ball through is cut out. Well read by Neil. Done by Inez Gadon. Trying to play Shreve, but Choi's right onto it. Ball going back into the middle. Brown. Ball for Bonte Gadon. She plays a typical through ball. McConnon's onto it. Can she get there first? She does, but a good sliding tackle by Casey Ponting in the South Hobart goal. That's what they'll be trying to spring, that counter-attack from Knights. They'll be very happy with that creation. And Gadon, her rate of passing is absolutely fantastic. That was... I don't think I even saw that pass. I was looking more in the middle to where Brown was, and she's gone out wide, right into space where McConnon is. Or Barrich almost gets onto that one, and you can see Knights coaching staff just a little bit disappointed they haven't been able to get on top of either of those half chances. But good evasive keeping from Ponting. Watkins tries to run it back down the other side. And out of play. So as I said, South Hobart will be the more happy for sure, but it's just that open back line. That's where they were a little bit exposed against Devonport in the Cup semi-final. South were, I'd say, like on top in terms of possession in that game as well, but Devonport just had a plan to beat their high line. Knights almost did there, but that's not the best clearance from Lennox. So he'll have to sort out where she's kicking it, maybe get Shreve to take them. And Shreve does really well. Bit of a feisty clearance, but gets it out of play, and Conan maybe a little bit stiff not to win a throw in there. Goes down the line from Clifford. Chambers. Neil's been a lot closer to in the last 5 or 10 minutes, giving her a little bit too much space in that opening stanza. Here's Bronte Gadon. It's a nice ball for Barrich. She's got Brown running onto it. It's a little bit behind her, though. Oh, and she tried to set up the reverse pass for McConnon, but the counter press comes from Gadon. All from Clifford. Gadon again. Bossing the midfield at the moment for Knights. McConnon. And Baez. They recover it for South, and I think they'll just want to maybe just slow it down a little bit here, but they're going to run straight at the Glenorchy defence again. Game opening up. Good footwork from Chambers. See how she just drops the shoulder. Ball in from Clifford. Well, it's a bit of a dangerous one. Knights don't deal with it that well. Here's Choi, though. She'll just collect. Browning tries to play a 1-2, doesn't get the run, though. And Knights not really sure what they're doing on that clearance. Barrich hits one of the Gadons in the back there. Baez. And she'll just slow that tempo down. I think that's what they need, is just Choi and Baez to get on the ball here. And Choi's ball's a little bit short for Haber. Barrich. It's a little bit of trouble sorting her feet out. Can't work her way down that wing. And in a good little last 5 minutes of this game, really opened up, and Knights working their way into the game. Still, in fancy South, they're just putting the Knights' defence under a lot of pressure. Bologna and Shreve make a few evasive little manoeuvres. Gidon is starting to get on top in the middle there. It's a lovely challenge. But the ball, radar's off a little bit off that time. And Wright will get it restarted for South. And press from McConnon. Wins a throw in, just Clifford didn't see that coming. She'll throw it up the line though. Chambers, stolen off her by McConnon. McConnon eats that one in the ribs. And South will try and come forward. And Esgidon does enough to get through. Tries to play it back through that midfield. And Watkins now going wide. Habber's made a good overlap. She plays it up for Byers. It's a good ball too. Byers steps on it. Got Browning at the top of the box. Tries for Mamich, and it's away by Neal. Troy charging in though. Gidon doing enough, and she'll just lump it up in the Brown direction. But Wright sorting her feet out well. And Sega making the nice play out to Chambers. She's going direct. Got a gap in the channel. Shreve up to the task. Chambers maybe looking deep again. Just turns on it. Barrett's trying to put a foot in. Copped a little toe on her way. She's in a bit of pain, I think. Would have liked to have her be able to run on forward there, but just still a few heavy breaths for a rangy winger. Ball from Clifford. 1-2. Not sorted out. Ball goes forward and back into touch. Just at the moment, it seems like South are trying to just batter their way through the middle. Knights kind of shut the front door enough to where there haven't been too many clear chances for the likes of Mamich and Browning. Ball for Christie. Can see Mamich coming, and Mamich tries to turn through Shreve. He does get a foot in, but has to get on her bike. Byers has made a good run forward. Little fancy feet, and marked well by Inez Gidon. And quick throw in. She's gone down hard, Gidon. Ref just says it's a throw. Just tripped up a little bit. Still a little bit sore, but competitive instinct pushing her through there. Just since Inez Gidon's come into the Glenorchy midfield, I know there's been a few different changes with these talented youngsters coming in. It's been a good run of results. They're only a point behind Launceston United for now. They are racking up a cricket score at the moment, though, which that game would have just momentarily wrapped up. It was 8-0 to Devonport and 6-0 to Launceston United in the other games, from what I saw just before this game started. So there might be a little gap opening up again for Launceston United in that fourth position. Gidon just sends it into the grandstand here and straight back. Getting a little bit frustrated, I think. South there still clear second, and deservedly so, but still a fair way adrift of Devonport, who have just been clinical this season. Got the best goal difference. I think it was like a 22 goal difference, something like that for South Hobart. Whereas strikers haven't been putting as many goals away, but they've been getting the better results. I think just 2 results against South Hobart being good. It's McConnon just trying to encroach on that little square you're not allowed into. Chambers plays it in. Free header for Choi! Can't leave her unmarked in the box. And she puts it away well. Short corner. Just confusing the Knights' back line a little bit there. A good ball in from Chambers. And I feel like the goal was coming to an extent there. Knights just going off the boil a little bit in the last couple of minutes. And it will be a 1-0 lead to South Hobart. And maybe that's a little routine they've whipped up during the week with Chambers not taking the corner and just taking it very, very short and whipping it in anyway. And just catching the opponents off guard there. And I think if you do have to mark anyone, you're looking at Mamich and then you are looking at Choi in an aerial situation. She's so good with her head as well as her feet. Just a really different physical dimension to a lot of the players in the league. Powerful, fast, strong and good in the air. And that's an example of why she was MVP of last season for many. Maybe hasn't quite had the impact this season for South in some ways, playing a slightly deeper role. And here she is cutting out that ball. As Clifford trying to weave her way through and clips Godon again. It's been in the walls a little bit over the last couple of minutes. And I think just for Knights, they just need to have a little bit of a breather here. They worked their way into the contest very well just after about the 10-minute mark. And as the game slowed down in this last 5 or 10 minutes, it's been a little bit more of a struggle for them. Being not able to find these little balls through, and South are able to just put a lot of pressure on through their passing. Even if it's a little bit wayward like that, it just means that they have to make clearances. Brown was onside, but not challenging right. Connon running hard. Met by Wright. Sega makes a good header away up into the Clifford direction. Godon running through. Passes it to her sister. And we'll just go back. Nice feet by Neil. We'll rope-a-dope. Get past Chambers, but 1-2 with McConnon and Bronte Godon doesn't work out. Bologna again having to just field some of these awkward long balls that are coming from the South Hobart defence. Good turn from Browning. That's an excellent ball through. Watkins is in here, takes a touch on her left and can't catch it. Had a bit more time than maybe she thought. Wasn't sure whether to line up on her right or left. He's a fairly two-footed player, Watkins, and it's a little bobble in the box, but wicked ball from Aaliyah Browning to open up that one for South Hobart. Probably should be two, in all honesty. McConnon overrunning that one. Clifford doing well. Trying to take it quickly. It will just be a Knights throw-in. Throw-in from Neil. Doesn't find its target. Brown just probably need to get a little bit wider. And McConnon will try and press, but it's easy ball to Clifford, who has space. Neil's going behind. Mamich putting afterburners on now. In behind, almost falls over with that touch. Cuts inside of Shreve, and Neil's backing up her centre-back well. Chambers will take it quickly. Mamich again, causing some issues with her channel running this afternoon. Shreve launches it. Bounces over Brown. Seger attacks it. But almost kind of fell for the Glenorchy striker. There's Godon making a little challenge there. She tends to play the deepest of the three. With Bronte playing a little bit further forward of Christie, and Christie playing a little bit further on the left in that midfield. I think it's obviously got a lot of potential, but it has been working well for them over the last month or so. Sarah Bologna trying to move it up forward, but only finds Aaliyah Browning. She wins the ball well. It's got Watkins in space, whips it in off their left foot. Lennox trying to keep it in, and pressure from Mamich. See, South have the bit between their teeth at the moment. They're really keen as we sort of wind our way into the second half of the season. Round 11 now. That's they can really challenge Devonport, keep the pressure on, and I think for them just playing a little bit better against some of these more challenging teams. Haven't been quite as dominant as they were probably over the first little bit of this season and all of last season. Obviously, hadn't lost in so long. Choi with nice feet and rangy switch there. Have sorts of feet out and knocks it up the line. Nice work from Watkins. Choi can't get through Bronte Gudon. She's got McConnell who's come inside. Attacked by Sega, but Inez Gudon trying to find Brown. Is lots of balls looking for her today. Have just been a little bit behind her. I mean, I think it's just a bit of a test of mentality today for Knights against the all-conquering South Hobart outfit. Going to have to really keep at it for the full 90 if they want to get anything out of this game. And there's Gudon. Sees Brown's run. I think it was in a little bit of two minds whether to knock that into towards McConnon. Went for the wider option. And Bridget Wright, an experienced member in this South Hobart back four today. Just a cutaway away from Bronte Gudon and comes to hard back at her. Just didn't really have a good option off her right foot there. And Neil trying to get through into Chambers again. Just spinning on the ball. Very, very hard to dispossess thus far today. That's a nice ball through from Baez. Browning with space to run. Knocks the through ball for Clifford. On her wrong foot. It was a little bit low, and that was a bit of a tricky one. Lennox just says, I'll just get rid of that one. I want the hot potato. Chambers shoots, and Lennox clean that time. Now she's putting a lot of pressure on the young keeper, really making sure that she's clean with all of her handling. But running after this one, has enough time to just play it to Ponting, who's made an excellent save already today. Only a piece of work she had to do, but it was a crucial one. It would have been almost a guaranteed goal if Conan could knock it past her. The ball does find its way to Mamich. She's got a lot of white shirts around her, 5 or 6 in number, and does the right thing and knocks it back to Baez. I was trying to play a killer pass out to Chambers. Doesn't reach its intended target. We'll just come back into Choi. Chambers evading 3 or 4 tackles, but Glenorchy do get the better of her, but good counter press from Chambers. Baez. Sega, who's playing a little bit deeper, almost sweeping up for South Hobart. Shreve a little bit flat-footed there, and Mamich almost never flat-footed. Ball into the middle for Ashby. Has to be clean here. Watkins is in the area and has a shot. Hasn't had the cleanest striking day yet, Sammy Watkins, but she's been dangerous, to say the least. There's Brown. First time she's really been able to hold up the ball today. There's Gudon, just touch evades her a little bit. Looking for that channel in between Shreve and Neil again. This time Mamich doesn't want to chase it down. And away by Browning. It's really just going side to side. I think that more advanced midfield role today. Sometimes can be employed as a winger or second striker. Probably helped South Hobart's defensive shape a little bit. Barrich in good shape, but the ball takes a hop in the muddy patch and holds up for Haber. She finds Watkins. Good run on by Alexandra Haber again. She'll get it back. Just past one. Another, let's feel a little half shot there. And been in that position where you're coming up from defence and you do a few players and you think, well, I'm not sure what to do here. I'll have a shot. Didn't catch it that cleanly, but good run from more of a depth player for South Hobart traditionally, but she's really been working hard today. McConnell's in a 2-on-1 here. Right, has to be clean. Brown's almost there and Ponting well off her line. And that's the fatal flaw of this South Hobart team at the moment. It's just a very, very high defensive line. And that's how they want to play. But I think it does offer opportunities. Brown's in a decent area, but I think it was just a bit gassed to chase that one down. I think maybe it was slightly offside. She's got to work hard just to put any sort of pressure on Clifford. And there's Godon trying to come across. It's a good ball. Really run from... A good run from Baez. So shoving her back from Bologna. No penalty given. Just subtle enough from the Knights defender. And their two ex-teammates as well. Another coming across from Zebras. I think just subtle enough with that push. Didn't use any hands is the key thing there. As takes a hop up onto Godon's hands. Not intentional. Hands away from her body. Depending on the ref, you do sometimes see those just say play on. I think that's more the benefit of the doubt for the defensive player, if I'm not mistaken. I will have to read IFAB rules again. Ball comes in. Watkins has made a good run. Lennox is out and actually does pretty well to get on there. I don't think that ball was ever coming at a catchable height. Haber's ball in. It's away again by Knights. It's all hands on deck for Knights to sort this one out. Baez with some good feet. Powerful running through the middle again. It's blocked off. Bronte Godon threads the eye of the needle. And again, it's this pressure from South Hobart. Watkins running down the line. Cuts it in on the right foot. And wanting that left. Knights able to hold strong for now. They've got 10 minutes to see if they can't get something in this first half. But at the moment, it does seem like South are pushing for another long shot from Browning. A little bit tame. Lennox has had a fair bit to do in this half. Nothing too evasive. It just has to be clean with her hands and has been thus far. Bouncing ball over the top. McConnon trying to cause some chaos. Her and Brown have just swapped over roles. Right. Marauding up from defence, and this is her pass intended for Watkins. An energetic game so far. Definitely the pick of the three WSL games that are on today. Other two, a little bit one-sided, as you might expect with two of the front runners for the league. Well, two traditional northern powerhouses of being able to come up against Taroona and Riverside, who are struggling a little bit. I definitely feel like River have some potential, but it can be, I think it's hard in these seasons where you're just eating loss after loss and a few cricket scores come up. Whether you just kind of keep the morale up through even just full 90 minutes of games become hard. I think Knights are not feeling any of that as Barrage gives Watkins a big shove, and Watkins comes up and gives her a couple of words. Barrage kicked the ball away as well. She's over it. I'm just thinking, I'll just walk away from that one. Watkins rightly Probably didn't really appreciate the shove. Wanted to give Barrett a bit of a piece of her mind on the way out. Right, will come forward to take the whip free kick. Decent ball in. Mamich is there. It's away by Shreve. How about with the follow-up? Almost a seeing eye single into the bottom corner. Apparently took a Knights touch on the way through your corner. You can see that energy that Knights started with, trying to press. It's been hard work for them now. Will be almost a welcome sight, that half-time whistle. And I think they've got to be picking up Pish on Choi here. Got Emma Christie on her at the moment. It's probably a slight mismatch. They go direct this time. Choi again. Just over the top of her. Watkins trying to turn away through Saskia Ashby. Does find some space in the end. Baez. Choi. Tees it up. It's through one. Watkins. And South just turning up the heat on this Knights defence at the moment. Choi just not able to find a window to shoot that one. But I do wonder whether they should be playing her more aggressively as a kind of running 10. I know with Roberts being out, they need to have someone back there as kind of the defensive midfielder, and Choi fits that bill equally well. Watkins taking this one short. Decent ball in. Sega's in there, up by Barrich. Hooked back in by Choi. Bologna. Baez. Back to Watkins. Good feet. Barrich away. Keeps the score at 1-0 for now. Everyone back defending for Knights. Really just Jemima Brown up top for them. Barrich, McConnon coming very deep. Got two banks of four here. And I have to say it's needed. Christie, the ball through. Gadon can't quite get there, but Inez Gadon can. Ball through to Barrich. Now she's got a bit of space to run. Tries to play the early ball. Bronte Gadon, good turn. Barrich in space now. She'll drive towards the middle. Ball over. McConnon's there. It's McConnon! Oh, just over the top. A little bit wide. Ponting came out for it again. He's thought at it twice. And Knights have had their own opportunities. You have to say, pressure's been on them, but they've had two good opportunities through McConnon. That was a good ball from Barrich. And again, when they can get Bronte Gadon in some space to pull the strings, it's a threatening sight for any team. And maybe just a little tricky 5 minutes for South Hobart before half-time. Pressure being put on them by Knights. They want to run in behind here. Here's Chambers. She's showing good speed. Mamich is onside. Lennox has come. She gets there just. Big call for some of the South Hobart players. And that looked like a bit of a painful one for Mamich. Just copped it. Maybe a clash of knees on the way through. And doesn't look good for her at the moment. Decision aside. Let's hope for the best for player welfare. Just with knee injuries in the women's game as well. It's such a difficult issue. And just hope for the best for one of the stars of the league. She does get some treatment. And the rest of the players just have a little breather. Bridget White's gone up there just to make sure that that wasn't a foul. I think she wanted one. I think Keeper did get the ball first, but obviously got a fair piece of Mamich on the way out. And this, in a campaign that's already been blighted by injury for South Hobart, you would not want this to be a bad one for them. Doesn't look the greatest over there, I have to say. I won't comment on it anymore, just to play her some space, and obviously usual qualifiers of I'm not a doctor. And she is up and walking off under her own power, so that is a good sign for, well, Mamich herself and South Hobart supporters. Wonder whether she'll be able to continue. Might have to just make it to half-time without her and reassess. It's only a couple of minutes away. His striker going down with 1-0 lead. Probably don't want to risk any further complications in that little period of time. It goes shorts again. Chambers takes it on, stands up at the top of the box, and Baez in good positioning, good on her left, and spins it a little bit wide of the post. And looks like they've got a few different options from this corner situation, South Hobart. Chambers already created 1 goal from that today, and that was another piece of good variety from the winger. Just feel like things can happen when she gets on the ball. She goes back, comes for it. Chambers again, met by a lot of Knights players. Little nutmeg from McConnon, who exasperated from that one. All been there. Give a stiff ball from Browning for Baez, but good chasing from Baez again. And we'll just go out of play for Christie. Still a couple of minutes before half-time. Looks like Mamich is moving a little bit better there on the sideline. Maybe just seeing whether she's coming back on. As Pishon Choi slips over and wins a free kick. And it does look like Mamich will be coming on momentarily. Again, just a knock. And much to the delight of the South Hobart supporters at Darcy Street. We've Bridget Wright, who's been putting a few good deliveries in from this sort of area. The free kick. It's another decent one. Shreve away. And McConnon. Decent ball into Gadon. This is where she wants to be moving forward. It's a heavy touch, though. Gets enough of the ball to get past Baez and Clifford and plays a nice raking ball out for McConnon. Doesn't have any support, so probably just has to drive forward here. Goes back into Inez Gadon. Nice from Neil. Mamich on the chase. It's okay through that challenge. Choi with no one up in front of her, so we'll have to just hold the ball up. And there's Gadon, a real pit bull in that central midfield area. Shreve will send it long. McConnon lets it bounce into Clifford. Another nutmeg. She slides in hard, and looks like Clifford just took a little knock on her head there. And that was maybe not the best challenge from McConnon. Went in a little bit two-footed and wasn't the great landing. South Hobart medical staff with a fair bit of work to do at the moment. Clifford up, and a little shake of the hand from McConnon. He just slipped in a slight tackle a little bit, but probably did well just to avoid game's first card in that situation. I always want to believe when some player gets beaten and then slides in straight away and misses. Can be a frustration tackle more than anything. Just slowed the game down well for Knights, probably wanting to take a free kick, given Clifford had a bit of space to run. Troy goes direct. Mamich with their first touch is coming on and goes through an Esgadon challenge. Chambers, who's been causing a lot of issues for the Knights, but Gadon holding her well and clips her on the ankle on the way through. And we're into injury time now. If you are Glenorchy Knights, you do not want to concede here. It's a curling ball from Choi. It's decent, and Byers got a head on it, but difficult to get a shooting header from that sort of angle. Lennox tries to send it forward now. And that will be that for half-time. 1-0 to South Hobart here with a Pishon Choi header. Been an entertaining game. South Hobart definitely on top in terms of...
Our McCafe blend isn't just barista crafted across Australia. Our beans are also sourced from Kenya, Honduras, Ethiopia and Brazil, then roasted in Melbourne. Just another reason it's coffee fit for an Aussie.
Whether they can take them against a very experienced South Hobart.
Oh, no.
Hey,
Hey!
is that the McSmart meal from Macca's?
Yeah, 2 burgers, small fries and drink for $6.95.
Smart.
To reiterate, 1-0 here at Darcy Street at half-time.
Oh, hey, is that the McSmart meal from Macca's?
Yeah. 2 burgers, small fries and drink for $6.95.
Smart.
Welcome back to Darcy Street for the second half of the round 11 matchup between South Hobart and Glenorchy Knights. My name's Alex Mummery. Thank you for joining us again. It's 1-0 to South Hobart at the moment. It's been a pretty interesting game. The lone goal separating the teams coming from Pishon Choi off a quickly taken corner. And it's been a bit of a challenge for this young Knights side, but they've accounted themselves pretty well to just be 1 goal down in this game thus far. They've had a couple of chances.
Our McCafe blend isn't just barista crafted across Australia. Our beans are also sourced from Kenya, Honduras, Ethiopia and Brazil.
They had too many clear-cut opportunities. One from Watkins and obviously the one from Choi. So all to play for in this second half. Knights will be very happy with a point out of this game, I'd assume. And still a long way to go in this game. I think South will be good value as favourites to take the game. Obviously being 1-0 up and higher on the ladder. But seen stranger things happen. Josie Mamich will get on the ball for South Hobart, and Chambers, who's been very impressive thus far today. It's on 2 Knights defenders. Ball coming in and Lennox is out towards it. And she is going to take a little bounce of the ball and launch it long. It's a difficult bounce for Sega. Goes straight over her head, but Brown also got done by the bounce there. And Baez has Inez get on for company. Well tackled by Sophie Munnings, who has come on for Knights. Looks like Saskia Ashby has been substituted at half-time. So just tag teaming that left-hand side. Choi, with a bit of time, turns inside well, finds Mamich. She pokes it through Shreve. Mamich, good block from Bologna, who's put her body on the line. And it just went sort of full plank mode there to dive at that one. And Mamich looked like she was in for a half a second. She's just dealing with that knee knock during the first half. It looks kind of scary for a moment there, but looks to be moving okay. Another short corner. Browning lumps that one into the middle. Baez tries to volley it. It's a bit of a challenging trajectory for the keeper, but well over in the end. I was saying before, Lennox has had a lot of work to do today, but nothing that's been too testing. He hasn't been called into action to save anything that's been too fast for her or wide of her. Really just the goal has been the real clear-cut opportunity for South Hobart. As much kind of possession and pressure they've had. Here's another one. Browning's put that one in pretty well, and Lennox taking that one a little bit more panicked in that situation, but again, taking it quite cleanly. Doesn't have that many options. I think she was trying for the Barrage direction, but it just goes straight into that midfield area again. I think Knights girls just have to want to get that ball a little bit more off their keeper there. All coming for Chambers. Good feed again. And trying to use the speed as well to get around the outside of Neil. It's a raking ball. Watkins is in the middle. Followed up. And well over the top by Baez. Just making those late runs. I'm going to see maybe her and Browning kind of playing as a double central midfield axis. Looks like Browning's dropping a little bit deeper just to start this second half. Was starting it as an out-and-out 10 in a 4-2-3-1. Looks more like a 4-1-2-3 or 4-3-3 with a single pivot. But we'll probably buy as just shuttling up and down, and Browning still playing a little bit more aggressively. McConnon nodding it into the middle. Baez and into Mamich. Mamich's ball just goes for Bologna and she launches it forward. Good header from Sega. Followed up by Gedon. And Out of play by Choi. And it'll be a Knights throw in. Knights have been under the pump the whole game, really, but they've had a few really good opportunities created through Bronte Gidon. It's really been Christie and Inez Gidon doing all of the, not all of the hard work. Bronte's been doing a lot as well, but I'm just trying to release her a little bit more aggressively and try to play those balls in towards McConnon and Brown. Barrett has been fairly quiet on this left-hand side. I do often wonder whether she'd be more effective cutting in on that left foot rather than being a left winger. Interesting ball for Bologna, just lumping it forward again. Sega's done pretty well under the high ball, though. Watkins trying to turn Munnings. It's just come on. Gets a round of applause from the crowd. Fresh substitute. Throws into a dangerous area with Brown coming across. And Munnings will try and take again. Not much movement for her. Bronte Gidon's coming over. Tries to turn through. Brown. Gidon. Again, every ball is a through ball with Bronte Gidon. Barrich. Munnings. And it's come out. She's been shot out of a cannon. And 45 minutes to play. It's kind of good to just know that you have just half the game to play and go a bit harder. Choi and Byers link up. Chambers. Falling behind Shreve. Manages there. Trying to turn, but Shreve does well enough to stick a foot in and clear away. South look to reload. Up the line from an Esgadon. McConnon's got some space. It's a 2-on-1. And the ball through for Barrett, who was storming in behind. Gidon recycles, though. Ricochet off Brown. Barrett was offside, but didn't interfere. Not the best ball from Neil. Bit of a dangerous one. Gets away with it. Bologna trying to drive the team forward. And she's just wanting a little bit more thrust from her midfield just to follow up. But you can sort of see Christian and Esgadon. They've been doing so much defensive work. There's another evidence of it through Inez. She hits up her sister. Does sort it out. Here's Christie. Decent ball through. Barrich is on her left foot. Sizes it up, and a good save from Ponting again. And follows up, and no foul. It's a corner. Barrich is just making sure Ponting's okay. Doesn't want her apology. And this goes back onto her line. Just calling for a corner here. And Knights have had some excellent counter-attacking opportunities. That was a lovely ball through from Emma Christie. It's been that sort of afternoon where they've been able to carve out a few opportunities, and Ponting's been able to snuff them all out. That was probably her best save of the lot today. She's had 2 1-on-1s, made 2 saves, and then another one where she was able to pressure McConnell to hit it over the bar. It's a very generous corner kick from Summer Neal. It's almost a ruler's length outside where the actual corner is. Gets the extra distance, and Esgadon couldn't meet it on the half volley. Lino on this side, not kicking up a fuss about that. It is a pretty muddy little corner spot, so I wouldn't want to be taking it right out of that area. So I've seen worse. It's Chambers again, well held by Neil. Gidon nicking it through. It's a 2-on-1 again. McConnon's onside. Doesn't have anyone to play it to. And the ball through. They needed to stand that one back up for Brown and Gidon, who were at top of the box. And McConnon just expected one of them to be in there. Knights have come out with some energy in this second half. South haven't really had as many clear opportunities. And as I say that, here comes Mamich. Weaves this way and that. Driving down the line is Chambers. It's a powerful runner. It's a good ball in. And well taken by Lennox. Watkins had made a good run. She was in front of Munnings, and keeper had to make the save and did. She's had a pretty good game today, Lennox. That was probably the best moment so far. If she drops that, I think that's a South Hobart goal. But we'll remain at 1-0 to South Hobart. And Knights have started this half well. It's okay for South to sort of sit on this lead. And they are still pushing forward, and you sort of feel that Chambers is going to be the one to create something for them. There's another bullet-like cross. He's just got this really nice flat trajectory on her crosses. Makes it difficult for defenders and really nice for attackers to run onto. Mamich, 2 white shirts for company. Browning goes round 1. It's Baez. Gudon is on the ball, plays the ball into Brown's feet, holds it up well. It's a little bit short of Barrich, but Nesgudon gets it to her in the end. Barrich's touch just goes off her shin a bit, and Baez will hit into her former teammate. And we'll go up forward. Watkins, Munnings for company, uses her body well. So it's a bit of a size and experience mismatch, but foot in is good for Munnings. She plays that line to Barrich. And blocked away by Alex Haber. Hopefully got a bit more energy in the game. Knights are trying to push here. South are probably almost looking more dangerous on the counter-attack than they are in possession at the moment. Good from Browning, but Gudon uses her body well as well. It's a bit of a dangerous ball across. Neil doing enough to fake out Choi. And Conan trying to keep it in and can't. Just having a look on sort of options on the bench for both sides. I think Masatsos is on the list for South Hobart if they want to try a slightly more attacking option. And they've got a few different names. Obviously Munnings being used now, but Chantel Nowicki as well, a bit of a stalwart of the Southern Championship. Potentially see some action here today for Knights. Add a little bit more experience to their young lineup, that's for sure. Barry's trying to go around the outside, and Haber sees it out. Been pretty solid back there today. Alex Haber again. More of a usual sub for them, but hasn't really been troubled too much by Barrett. She's had her work cut out for her today. Bit of a bobbly ball for Inez Gidon. Plays it well for Christie, but Watkins working well back. And ball goes forward from Browning. Gives Watkins a lot to do. I think she really wanted to have to chase that down, and Christie wins a throw in. Big throw from Munnings. That's a bit of a weapon that they might look to exploit in the second half. Still in. I'm taking a weird spin, and Brown's pressured it, and South will take the throw in. And yeah, just a little bit of a word from a few of the South players just to switch on a little bit here. Still got the upper hand in the game, both in terms of territory and on the scoreboard. But hasn't been quite as clean as it was in the first half. It's Christie trying to get away and bodied off it by Browning. Ball comes forward, Seger away. Seger, in the absence of Westwood, has been quite solid back there. Especially with these long balls, she's very tall, so it does help. She's been reading well too. Have a good little short, tall combination of Wright and Seger in there in the middle. Browning eats a bit of an elbow on the way through, and is a free kick. You could hear the slap from up here. Gidon just trying to part her physicality in the game. And Wright will declog her studs and try and send South forward. Chambers is lurking out there. So, Knights are very narrow at the moment. McConnon's gone all the way back, though, to mark Chambers. And there's Gadon. Had it back into Choi. Clifford made a good overlapping run. It gets looked off by a central midfielder. Brown will play it back into Barrage. Plays a 1-2. Putting the speed on. And wins a free kick. Sorry, a throw-in. Sega really had no other option. And just see when she gets going. It's those long strides, even for a young woman. She is got some speed, and it's good press from Gadon again. You just sense that Knights are a lot more in this game than they were in the first half. Pressing well, and pretty solid at the back as well thus far. Clifford will push it forward. Here's Chambers. And you get her more on the ball, South Hobart do. Evades Baez, who's made a good run forward. Bologna bustling her way through. She'll send it forward and straight into right. And there's Gadon will try and lump it forward. Playing a little bit more direct now than the Knights. I don't think it's the sort of long ball from defence that's the one that's been troubling South Hobart. It's when they've been able to just progress it into their midfield with a little bit of momentum forward and catch out some of their midfielders who aren't tracking back, and they've got an outnumber. So I think that sort of ball just a little bit easier for Sega, who's been pretty good at just fielding those deeper ones all day. Gives it a little bit more time. And there's Gadon trying to get through. Bit of a ball for Bronte Gadon. It's a classic through ball. Barrage has some space. She tries to go around Ponting, goes on her right foot. Which maybe should have tried to take it around the keeper. Sniff of a foul there. Nothing doing, says the referee. And Knights are really challenging here. Here's Wright trying to thrust her team forward. Leaves the ball behind, though. Weaves round 1. Round 2. Almost round 3. Blocked off. Pressing from Mamich, though. Bowling is decent. Shree didn't really know where it went, and was enough to hoof it out of play. Yeah, Barrett's just getting some orders to track Haber's run here. Good cut inside from Haber. Christie tries to clear, and ricochets the path of Munnings. Browning. Watkins Choi wanting it short. Watkins looks her off. Tries to play it into Haber. Choi a little bit disappointed with the result of that one, and Barrich is going to have to work. I'm just feeling a little bit of cramp. Gadon again, giving one for McConnell to run onto. Just got to be aware when she's on the ball. Barrich is in space. Not the best ball, yeah. She's definitely feeling, I think it is a bit of cramp. It's all number 8 for Knights. Still trying her best to stay in the game, but I think she might need a sub. After a quick adjustment of the ponytail. Looking for these through balls, Knights. Brown's onside. Can she cut in? It's to set it up. It's Barrage at the back post. It's 1-1 Knights. What a ball from Jemima Brown. And the through ball's come off. They've had 3 or 4 of it with an odd man rush. And it finally comes off for them. They've had the momentum in the second half, and that is a bit of a warning shot for South Hobart. Just thought the Barrage was just about to come off. I think she still wants a sub as her goal. That will send the cat amongst the pigeons for the last half an hour of this game. Knights have been coming, and they've made it count on the score sheet. Ponting has been good in those situations all day and just done a little bit by the trajectory of the cross. Brown's gone out on that wing and set it up beautifully for Barrage to just poke home. And Knights now, do they have more to offer? And Ponting will just keep it and slow it down for South Hobart. They've been banging their head against a wall a little bit in the second half. Haven't had anywhere near the amount of pressure that they did in the first. It's a little bit of a dangerous ball. Wright's not able to hit a pass. And again, Clifford's so far up the pitch that Brown is in space if she gets it here. No foul on Clifford. She gets, taken out on the way down as well. I thought there was a foul there at some point. And we are in for a bit of a cracker here at Darcy Street today. Been an excellent game all round, and I think it probably just needed that second goal to go in to really, well, put the game on the line. Looks like Clifford might be in a bit of difficulty here. South Hobart medical staff already been called on a couple of times. There's Barrich on the near sideline also trying to stretch out a cramp.
Yeah, someone's done that. I was here to watch it. Like, people have done that. Because it's a very good landing spot.
Clifford sitting up, and that's good news for South Hobart. With the 3 subs on the bench, just wonder whether South will have to look towards mixing it up in the next 5 or 10 minutes. I think for them a 1-1 draw would be a little bit disappointing given how much they've dominated the game and obviously the league position. I think Knights coming away from KG5 and stealing a point here would be an excellent result for them. So you can just see the South girls just trying to regroup a little bit. It's not the most energetic kind of discussion. We do have a lot of sort of talent in that midfield area, but just I think since Roberts has gone out, it's just the structure has been kind of hard for them, in my opinion. Choi playing so deep. I think she can just be such a weapon running forward. Byers is as well, and has proven that today. But that's kind of the issue where they have all these good attacking options and can't always fit them all in kind of to the role that they kind of need on the field, and just leads to Wright and Sega having to do a lot of kind of one-on-one defending at times. And it's kind of the risk reward of playing attacking football and getting your fullbacks high. It's a raging discussion at the moment, I guess, with how wedded do you have to be to a high line and pressing football or high fullbacks. I think that do just have to have trust in your emergency defending services, and up until that goal, South was on point in scrambling situations. Wright, Seger and Ponting able to kind of evade that threat that Knights had posed on the counter-attack, but you give them enough opportunities and it will come off eventually, and Brown found herself in enough space and put a good ball in. Barrich working hard through that cramp just to poke home. And it's 1-1. So we have about 20 minutes to play in this game, and you just feel the momentum shift. Will South be able to get back on top here? Chambers has just shifted over wings with Watkins. So it's a good throw from Munnings. Barrich is trying to bustle her way in. Christie. William is decent, almost found its way to McConnon, and Brown is queuing up at the back post. Clifford is off the park at the moment, so that's why they're in so much space. So 10 players for South Hobart just for the moment. I think they probably just needed to be communicate a little bit better to Watkins there to fill in or play a bit more centrally at the back there. They almost got through there. That would have been a dangerous situation. And they will ring the changes with Stella Petheram coming on for South Hobart and Browning coming off. So they will just change up that midfield shape a little bit. And I think that's probably something they've needed to do, as little Bronte Gidon takes a seat on the ground instead of kicking the ball. And it's a little bit muddy out there today. Looks like the pitch has held up okay, given all the drizzle we've had over the last week, and the girls playing on it today. Full day of games at Darcy Street tomorrow as well, headlined by the men's version of this matchup. Also University Women's Championship going over to play the South Women, which is a very early game, but could be a bit of a cracker in the Southern Championship if that is something you're interested in. And a few more games to come this afternoon in the men's competition. Shreve's ball in is pretty good. Munnings. Christie. And just Knights are just putting the pressure on now. Petherham trying to make her impact felt. Does well. And does get out of some trouble. Chambers running forward. But Barrich doing well. Referee taking good evasive action. This coming from Gidon. Brown's onside. Choi with a bit of a shove, but got enough of the ball. Knights fans wants a free kick. I think that would be a little bit generous of the referee to give it. Here's Baez. Haber up the line. Mamich turns inside, gets through Bologna's challenge. Nice little cut. Really weaving her way through. Munnings with a good challenge. Holding Chambers well. And the Knights fans are up and about in the stands. I think just giving a little bit of energy to the players out on the field. I think South are just trying to figure out kind of what's hit them in the second half. Can they respond? We'll go out for a goal kick. And just that support that Mamich hasn't been able to have around her. She's often got Bologna and another white shirt for company. I think just need to get a little bit closer together in some ways, or use that wide space. Petherham right is Choi. Ball over to Chambers on her left foot. Goes to turn inside. Goes through about 4 challenges. Wants a foul, doesn't get it. Big challenges in the middle there. Brown sending it out wide to Barrich. He's got a little bit of time, but runs out of space. Looking at about 15 minutes to go in regulation. Should be a little bit of additional time added on for a few little injuries around. And no one having to go off from any of them yet, but you can still see Clifford sort of just working her ankle out. And Mamich has been moving okay in this second half. I don't know if it's been quite as dynamic as before, a little knock. And she's battled through well. Chambers sends it up forward. Bologna gets there. Christie trying to weave her way through. Does so. Sends it long, but Connon's not on the last defender. Here comes Sega. Haber. Petherham turning well. Watkins out in a paddock on this far side. Choi doesn't see her, but tries to play the through ball instead. Watkins needs to be absolutely yelling for it out there. She's in acres, but they can't find a ball through to her yet. Right, we'll probably look for her here. No, it goes down the other side. And cut out by Munnings. Ball is in by Sega. And just used her arm a little bit too much. Yeah, it was a little bit close. It's probably, again, to me up here, that looked like it might have been above the sleeve line action. But again, when you move your arm like that, it sort of just gives away to the referee. Maybe you are controlling it a little bit too much. Shreve will send it in. A bit of a slice clearance. Barrich, interesting ball. Right, heads away. Barrich again. Brown. Well done by Baez to get that one away, but it will be another throw in. 15 minutes to play. Munnings' throw, yeah, just she's good at the long throws. I think it was just a little bit short for her. And sent that one for a turnover. Haber's throw is in the Petherham direction. Gidon getting through one. Nicks it through to Brown. Can't sort her feet out, and Choi will cut it out. Good response from Brown. Excellent counter press. Munnings. Barrich. The Petherham meeting that one. And they're really biting hard at the ankles, Knights. Barrich with the ball into Brown. Tries to go around right. Barrage. It's a nick off the South player. Ponting keeps it in, according to the lino. And Bologna just says, not getting through me. The ball is actually a good one for Brown. It looked a little bit skewed, but kind of all outside of the boot sort of action. McConnon trying to square up on Clifford. Knights are well on top at the moment. They're just, the energy is just up. And I think South are just struggling to meet it. Chambers will look to make something happen for South, though. She'll skirt through one challenge. Watkins is in. Storming through the middle. Bologna, can she put a challenge in? Does enough. Goes down. I think no complaints from Watkins. They're slipped over. And Shreve and Bologna doing enough to put her off. This excellent ball from Maddie Chambers. He's been South's player of the game for mine today. Made a lot happen. Watkins with the reverse pass, and Shreve just sends it almost into the basketball court. And the sub does get made for Josie Mamich, who is visibly struggling. And Matsatsos will come on. Looks like she's taken another little knock. Able to shake off the first knock in the first half, but been in the wars today. Josie Mamich hasn't had a lot of support up there at the moment. That ball goes out of play. Will be Lennox to take. Goal kicks have been tiny bit shaky today, but that one finds an Gidon. Barrage. Christie trying to send it long. Brown was in behind Sega, and Sega meets it well. Haber. Sartsos trying to make a bit of chaos happen for South. Gidon. Ball through, well cut out by Wright. Ball through to Lennox. And goes long to Bridget Wright. Good control. Taken down expertly. McConnon working hard as ever. Ball's not the best. Cut out by Baez, and then Troy tries to fashion something through the middle. Big hip and shoulder from Watkins, but doesn't save it. McConnon does find Gidon. Ball through and away by Shreve. Just playing very simply today, Jeff Shreve. Massive contrast to last week. I just keep thinking about how much Bologna and Shreve were passing between them. This week, it's all just get it out of here. South starting to wrestle a bit more control of the game now. It's Chambers. good feet. It's right. This ball will go out wide for Clifford. It's got good width, goes around McConnon. And McConnon does well to just concede a throw in. Just sense there is one more card to sort of come out of the deck before this game is done. Right, goes long. It's a good ball. Chambers is in there. It's Sartsos. Baez turning on it. Tries to set up Choi. Away by Shreve. McConnon in space here. Can she nick it around right? She just sends it for a one-on-one with Sega and Brown. Brown has the pace advantage, with Sega the positioning advantage, and does well to send it wide. Had to make a clean challenge there and a clean clearance. Haber's ball is cut out though. Christie's been marshalling that channel really well in that half. Tries to send Brown through again. Comes wide for Watkins. Has Chambers in some space. Couldn't get through the wall of Bronte and Inez Godon. Ball forward from Clifford again. Maybe a little bit uncomfortable on that left-hand side. Being right-footed. Not long to go in this one. And again, coming into this game, I think Knights would absolutely bite your hand off with a draw in this one. They've managed to tie with Devonport as well earlier this season, so they've got some pedigree behind it. Wright's ball's a decent one, and Lennox, just for half a second, thought that she went underneath it and able to take it reasonably comfortably in the end. It's a long kick out. It's gone over the head of Sega. Brown putting the afterburners on. Just going to put Ponting under pressure. That ball will go into Godon. Tries to put McConnon in. Clifford just put her hand on the ball when she fell over. She did all the hard work to make the important challenge. This is a little bit of a dangerous area. Jess Shreve is walking up to take it. I was just going to say maybe one of the Godons would want to come over it. Millie Barrich is also, especially from this angle on her left foot, can spin a ball in. Seen some excellent corners from her over a couple of years that she's been in the WSL. Can she do it from the free kick in the middle of the field as well? It's a decent way out. It's Barrich, it's low, it's blocked. Goes again and blocked again. And looks like there might have been a handball. Baez just had her arm up and then gets a yellow card for trying to play on. I think it's maybe a slightly stiff yellow card. She's not really complaining about it too much until now. Yeah, I think she's wondering about the call there. Barrich will get another bite at it. It looks like she might be handing it over to Shreve after not catching it well. And that is the first yellow card of the game for Gracie Baez. See, somewhat unfortunately for her. Maybe the hand just being up a little bit too far and then playing on. Barrich will take, though. It's a bit better from Barrich, but we'll just backspin over the bar. Tried to take it a little bit quicker that time. Ponting with no real trouble, though. I don't think she ever really thought that was going to challenge her. She gets it just underway quickly. Clifford can't get through. McConnon. Neal. Good on. Shreve. Brown wanting to meet that one instead of run through on it. Ponting will just come out and take. It's Inez Gadon looking for Bronte Gadon. Inez has to keep running. I think all the Knights midfielders will be out on their feet. There's a lot happening down that far side at the moment. And Clifford throws it in. And out of play by Neil. 85th minute coming up. Still 1-1 here at Darcy Street. In a really good game for the neutral. Bronte get on with the ball through. It's not over yet either. Barrett's trying to chase it down. She seemed to recover well from the cramp. Chambers keeping it in. Turns the corner. Running's right up against her. I think Chambers able to sell that one. Another yellow card coming out of the pocket. Maybe slightly stiff on the young defender. But Chambers causing issues as she has all day in really South's main outlet. Wright's tried to play on from a free kick. She needs to actually pass it to someone, unfortunately for her. I think Knights wanting that to be just a turnover for touching it twice in a row. Ball in the middle, it's met by all three Knights midfielders. Just work so well as a unit in there. Sega can't get it up the line to Clifford. Here's Mitsatsos. Choi. Once he get on, takes it away though. McConnon in a one-on-one with Wright. This is that issue that South have had. They just have to have a one-on-one, but Haber's done well to read that one. Now Choi, space to run. Does she have anyone to play to though? Mitsatsos has come very deep. And out of play by Neil. It's been an organised display from Knights at the back. I just think I've struggled a little bit to know exactly where the run's coming from South Hobart at the moment. It's been tracked pretty well. Watkins has done well running in behind. She's had a couple of half chances. I think probably more so in the first half where just couldn't get one cleanly off her boot. As Brown tries to run through a one-on-one and it's well shielded out by Petheram. Not long to go now. Since both teams are pretty tired and they will make one more substitution with Millie Barrett finally coming off. Maybe she's cramping again, but the goal scorer for Knights, knotting it up 1-1. Just a little tap in at the back post. She's had a much better second half. And the Josephine Hamlet coming on for Knights. Maybe a different version of Hammer Time, which you might be accustomed to in years bygone on for Tasmania TV. And Slice of Cheese Network. Not long to go now. They'll get it back in play. Away by Watkins and well over the fence. And I think for Knights, I'll be fairly happy with a point here. And if they concede one now, it will be a bit of a learning experience for the young side. South need to keep pushing though. Here's Chambers. Ball's an interesting one for Baez. Almost gets there. Well, just span its way through the defence. Couldn't quite hold up on this pitch at Darcy Street. Well done by Wright to reload for South Hobart. Very narrow against South though. Chambers having to cut in on that left foot. It's another midfielder almost. Choi. And she fashioned an opportunity. She's already got 1 goal to her name today. Right. Half chance for Baez. Lennox. She's been there when her team has needed her today. Sends that one in the Hamlet direction. Knocking it forward. And Haber's ball goes straight into Hamlet, and Hamlet leaves one in, helps her up. Munnings will go with the long throw again. Choi comes across. Into added time. Still 1-1. And will be Munnings to throw it in. Should be a fair bit of added time, you'd imagine, given the injuries in this second half. Bologna. A dicey ball from Munnings. Gave Chambers a half chance. Hamlet. And Sega will field for South. And Choi get the ball intended for her. Not a nice one to control for impressive South midfielder. Ball goes forward from Munnings again. Well away from Sega. It's been good in the air today. Munnings will just keep probing Sega, and she'll just say, no, can't challenge me. And there's Gudon with a bit of space. Shout for a handball, and a shout for a handball on the other side. Nothing given by the referee. Gudon stabilises well. Brown with an interesting little touch. All right, slips over. But Chambers in space. Choi's running forward. This is what South need to take advantage of. They've got a 4-on-4. Chambers running forward. Everyone's just running away from her, though. And you need at least one person coming there. It was a little bit too easy for Shreve, but Haber gets chopped by Hamlet, who pleads her case to the referee. Maybe a little bit too deep to shoot from here, but all right delivery into the mixer. And this is where that sort of experience, slightly older, more physical bodies may come into play for South Hobart. And they win a little header, cause something off the second ball. Referee stepping out. The referee, it's Bologna, making sure that all of his players are right where they want to be. The ball in from right, bounces through to Lennox, bundles it, and Byers has put it home. 2-1 to South Hobart, right at the death. Just trying to see if there was an offside or a foul, but no, Lennox is pleading her case, and South might have pulled one out of the fire here at Darcy Street. Wonder how much injury time is left. Still, the South players are explaining ball was in the hands, they say. I don't think the referee is going to change his mind. And, geez, that could be a big 3 points for South Hobart today. Knights, do they have anything left to give? Clifford doing well. Gudon has just taken a tumble. She's a bit sore. Clifford trying to play one down the line. Watkins doesn't go into the corner. Chops into the middle. Mutsatsos is there. For Lobe Chambers. Blocked away.
The whistle, ref! The whistle!
Here's Hamlet. And it's away. Chambers not going to... Well, she's going to take a lot of time on this one if she can afford to. Not going to rush. Here's Choi. She'll just want to hold it up. Any time off the clock for South Hobart is golden. And they made it home. South Hobart right at the death have won this one 2-1. you have to feel for Knights, who were brave all day. That Gracie Baez able to bundle one home right at the death, and that is a valuable 3 points for South Hobart. That one's going to sting for that young Glenorchy Knights team. You'd have to say they were probably the better team throughout the second half, but just that experience, that physicality, as we talked about, off the free kick, able to get them home today. So they'll keep pace at the top of the table, still in second, but and for this Knights outfit, just drift a little bit further away from Lonnie United, but I think they'll be happy with how they played, not happy with the result, obviously, but just that little bit of home juju for South Hobart has worked out well, and they'll be very relieved to get over the line today. It's been a fantastic game to watch, and really, yeah, hope you've enjoyed it at home too. Thanks so much for joining us here at Football Tasmania TV. Heaps to come. More NPL this afternoon and NPL tomorrow. And, yeah, my name's Alex Mummery, and we'll see you next time.